Hare Krishna. Om Agyan Timirandhasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Suvayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam.
हरे कृष्णा। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णवों की जय। श्लोक नंबर 13। यज्ञशिष्ट अशिनः संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषयैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्। यज्ञशिष्ट अशिनः संतो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषयैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Now first let us see the word meanings. Yajna Shishta, food taken after the performance of yajna. Asinaha, eaters. Santaha, the devotees. Muchyante, get relief from. Serve all kinds of. Kilbhishayeha, sins. Bhunjate, enjoy. Te, they. Tu, but. Agham, grievous sins. Papah, sinners. Ye, those. Pachanti, prepare food. Atma Karanat, for their sense enjoyment. Translation: the devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice, and others who prepare food for their personal enjoyment, they eat only sin. Now we are going to understand this shlok from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that the devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called saints or sant, and they are always in love with the Lord as it is described in the Brahma Samhita. Premanjan Churita Bhakti Vilochane Santah Sadev Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyam Sundaram Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. It means that the saints are always in a compact love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Govind, the giver of all the pleasures, or Mukund, the giver of liberation or Mukti, or he is known as Krishna, which means the all-attractive person. And the devotees who are in absolute love with Mukund, Govind or Krishna, they cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that such devotees always perform yajna sacrifice in the different modes of devotional service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, and Archanam. This means that such devotees of the Lord are always engaged in listening about Sri Krishna from Bhagwat Gita or Bhagavatam, and then after listening they do Kirtan, which means they will surely glorify the Lord and will tell others about the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. Ambrish Maharaj is a perfect example of a devotee who would only see Krishna with his eyes, listen about Krishna and sing the glories of Krishna all the time. Ambrish Maharaj was a king and a devotee of Krishna who did everything for the happiness of only Krishna. Such people are known as devotees And Krishna says in Bhagwat Gita, Bhakto asi priyo asi me, which means Krishna certifies himself that such people who are my devotees are very dear to me. And now the contrast is also in this verse, that the people who do everything and prepare food items only for their sense gratification eat only sins. Bhunjate te tvagham papa ye pachantyatma karanat. Now let's try to understand from the purpose of Srila Prabhupada that what is wrong in making food for ourselves or for our own sense gratification. Are we not allowed to enjoy the food? Srila Prabhupada says, all the householders, which means the grihasthas, will definitely prepare food to keep themselves healthy and strong. And in the previous verse, we have understood in detail that all the demigods and goddesses provide all our essential things like air, water, sunlight, earth, fruits, vegetables, grains, spices, etc. to keep us healthy and fit for doing Krishna Bhakti. And in the previous verse, it was also explained that one who takes all the things from the demigods and doesn't do yajna sacrifice and offer all the things which he has got from the demigods is a thief. And Prabhupada says that in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to do the yajna sacrifice as everything is very costly and there is no guarantee of the purity of things. So the most easiest thing which is for Kali Yuga is to do Harinam Sankirtan, which has been given to us by Krishna himself when he appeared 535 years ago in Mayapur, West Bengal as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Golokera Premadhan Harinam Sankirtan. Therefore, we must grab this rare opportunity of doing Harinam Sankirtan and get liberated from the endless cycle of birth and death, which is so painful and filled with sorrow and despair. And Harinam Sankirtan is so easy to do. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. All of us can do it. Now let's come to the present verse. The present verse tells us that the people who prepare food for their sense gratification eat sin. Prabhupada says that in the Smriti Shastra, it has been mentioned that a householder has high risk of sinning in comparison to the brahmacharis or sannyasis. And the reason for this is this, that brahmacharis or sannyasis never light fire to prepare any food for themselves and are not in a house. They are completely dependent on charity. Whereas a householder lives in house and has to cook also. Now let's understand according to the scriptures, when the householder lights fire to cook, then accidentally some insects or flies can get burnt in the fire. So if the householder has lighted the fire to prepare food for himself, then he is responsible for the death of the insect, or else if the food is prepared for Krishna, then the person is not liable for any punishment. So we understand that if the person is cooking for himself, so then only he is responsible for the death of the insect or ant. And if the person is cooking for Krishna, he is not liable for any punishment. Similarly, in every household, earthen pots are there, and by chance, if any ant falls into the water of the pot and dies, or while cleaning the house with broom, at times ants can get crushed under the foot, or the spiders get killed when we clean the walls. In the scriptures, it is mentioned that the places where killing takes place is called Suna, and in every house there is a high possibility of little creatures being killed, and if the householder cooks for himself or cleans the house for his happiness, then he is a sinner for killing the little creatures. But if he cooks for serving bhog to Krishna or cleans the house knowing that this house belongs to Krishna and Krishna is the owner of everything and I am just his servant, then this person is not a sinner as he has taken the prasad of Krishna. So we see that the act of cooking is same for a devotee or a non-devotee, but the result is so different. The non-devotee becomes a sinner and a devotee is saved from becoming a sinner. Srila Prabhupada says that we are not required to change our actions. Many people think that if we become Krishna conscious and start doing everything for the happiness of only Krishna, then what will happen to us and what will happen to our family? For such people, Srila Prabhupada says that Arjun was a householder, grihastha, with wives and children, and his main job was to fight as he was a Kshatriya. But when Arjun refused to fight with his own people, then Krishna gave him the knowledge of Bhagwat Gita. And after understanding Bhagwat Gita nicely, then the same Arjun who was not willing to fight fought valiantly for the happiness of Krishna. Did Arjun incur any sin for killing his grandfather Bhishma or his teacher Drona or so many family members? No, he did not become a sinner because he killed by the orders of Krishna. So it's proved here that anything, whether it is cooking or fighting done for Krishna, it will never be liable for any punishment. And everything that is done for one's own happiness, devoid of Krishna's happiness, is surely a sin. Prabhupada clearly says that Arjun, before listening to Bhagavad Gita, was a fighter, and after listening Bhagavad Gita, he fought with his enemies. So the action did not change at all. What changed was his mentality, or we can say thinking changed from his happiness to Krishna's happiness. And it's really so easy to please Krishna. We just need to nicely prepare food and first offer it to Krishna and then enjoy the tasty prasad with the entire family and friends. This is known as progressing from karma to Karma Yog. Any action which is done for one's own happiness is karma, and the same action when done for Krishna's happiness is Karma Yog. So the action is same, but there is just a little shift of the thought. From our own happiness, we have to shift the thought to make Krishna happy. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 9, shlok number 26 says, what he wants from us. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. It means, if one offers me a tulsi leaf or a flower or a fruit or even a drop of water with love, I accept it with great love. Srila Prabhupada is saying that it is not difficult to please Krishna, is it? Not at all. All of us can do it very easily. And I'm sure that each one of us are gradually understanding that how loving and merciful is Krishna. So why not cook some nice dishes and first offer it to Krishna and then have the prasad, and this way we can save ourselves from becoming a sinner and a thief. So in this shlok we have come to know who is a saint and who is a sinner. So now let us try to answer these questions to make us feel confident about the shlok. Question number 1, who is a saint? Question number 2, how can we save ourselves from becoming a sinner? Question number 3, what is Panchsuna and how can the householder save himself from Panchsuna? And the last is, what is the difference between Karma and Karma Yog? And how can we progress from Karma to Karma Yog? I thank Srila Prabhupada for making us understand the most secretive knowledge of Bhagwat Gita. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.